Hi guys, and welcome to another 7-minute lecture. It's been a while, but hopefully I'll start uploading regularly once again. We have an interesting topic today: Israel's Iron Dome technology. So what is it? What are the unique features that come with it? Before I start the video, let me be very clear that this is not meant to be political in any way, nor is it meant to take sides. It's simply a quick take on the facts surrounding this technology. So you can be pro Israel, anti Israel, pro Palestine, anti Palestine. It doesn't really matter for the purpose of this video. The purpose of this channel is to impart knowledge, not to influence opinion. So, what is the Iron Dome? It's what we call an autonomous mobile air defense system. Let me break that down. I said it's an autonomous mobile air defense system. So, number one, autonomous. There is no human being in charge of the whole thing. It runs by itself. It automatically detects incoming projectiles. It automatically determines whether these projectiles pose a threat. It automatically calculates the angle and speed with which they need to be intercepted, and it then automatically fires counter missiles to neutralize these incoming rockets in midair. So it's not like a drone where even though the drone might be operating in another continent, there's still a human pilot in control of things. No. This is where it's completely autonomous, automatic. So it's a very sophisticated example, one would say, of artificial intelligence currently being used in the field of warfare. I also said it was mobile. So the Iron Dome is designed for movement. It can be deployed quite quickly by the Israeli government, and because of its relatively compact size, it can be used both in urban and rural terrain. So unlike these heavy, cumbersome systems that we see in certain other countries where moving them around is practically impossible, the Iron Dome can be moved around very easily based on where the rockets are coming from. In terms of their physical characteristics, therefore, these are the most important features of the Iron Dome. It was created and officially deployed in March 2011, and it didn't even take a month. Less than a month later, it was already intercepting rockets that Hamas fired from Gaza. Until the recent hostility between the two sides, reports suggested that it had stopped about 1,500 missiles, roughly around that number. And in the recent conflict that we saw a week ago, 2 weeks ago, it's reported to have stopped another 2,000 rockets also. An interesting thing to note about the Iron Dome, which some countries don't seem to understand, is that it was created by the Israelis to deal with a uniquely Israeli threat. This is a total departure from the way in which small countries typically use military technology. The norm we see around the world is that smaller countries see these fancy weapons and cool gadgets being used by richer nations, and they then purchase these weapons from the larger powers with very little thought or analysis put into the utility of these weapon systems for their own indigenous threats. The Iron Dome, on the other hand, is meant to deal with an Israel specific problem. There are countries who now apparently wish to buy the Iron Dome technology, like Romania and India, but it's difficult to see how this would be useful for those countries, since the threats they face are very different. Neither of these countries have a threat paradigm where cheaply made missiles are fired into their territory every single day. On the other hand, countries like South Korea, for instance, who have also expressed an interest in purchasing this technology, it would be very useful for a country like that because the threats they face or potentially could face are quite similar to what Israel faces. The final point I wanted to make in this lecture about the Iron Dome is that it's not infallible despite all the things that I've just said. There are certain major problems, most pertinently the cost. It's estimated that a single missile from the Iron Dome costs about 70 to 80,000 US dollars for now, while the average missile fired by Hamas, for instance, would only be a few $1,000s. So even though we don't know where the saturation point is, there will be a saturation point. there will be a number where enough missiles fired into Israeli territory in rapid succession will overwhelm the Iron Dome, simply because those rockets are too expensive to replace in a short span of time. In fact, many have stated that the reason Hamas fired almost 2,000 rockets into Israeli territory in the recent conflict, and that too in about a week, is to breach this saturation point, or at the very least to find out where this point is. And we can probably assume that this number is pretty close to what was actually fired, given Israel's immediate decision to retaliate before more rockets could be fired. So, in conclusion, it's not an infallible system, it's more of a first line of defense until other options can be mobilized. It's not meant to be something where Israel can just treat it as a force field against every external attack. No, it's simply a very effective safety net until they move on to the next phase in a conflict. So, there you have it, guys. Those are what I consider to be the most important facts about the Iron Dome system in Israel. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you wish to see more content like this. Thank you, take care, and I'll see you soon.